I got into franchising really as my first job out of college. I just happened to, by chance, have an opportunity at a franchise consulting company. And I was a business management major and knew I wanted to get into some kind of management consulting. It just happened to be in franchising and fell in love with the franchise business and the whole idea of helping other people become entrepreneurs and helping them grow and tie into a brand. It just has all of these wonderful win-win scenarios when it's done well. What I love most about franchising is that it serves as a an opportunity for would-be entrepreneurs to become entrepreneurs. I've always had a passion and a love for entrepreneurship, and have always felt like everybody, at least every American, needs to try self-employment, entrepreneurship at some point in their life. Just I feel like you should. It's an opportunity that we have here, and so I think I have always thought that franchising acts kind of like a confidence elixir for maybe a would-be entrepreneur that would never do it in independent, but can jump in with a proven system and a brand. And so it really does create that win-win scenario when it's done well. Is the franchisee wins, the customer wins by having consistent a brand they recognize and trust that they can do business with a consistent delivery, and the franchisor wins. So it's kind of a win on all of these different fronts, and it's my favorite part of franchising. So I have found in the nearly, I guess, I can't believe it's been almost 18 years that I've been in and around the franchise world. Uh, for I found some common threads or characteristics of what makes people, what helps people to be successful in franchising, especially as a franchise professional. I think the first characteristic is the having an understanding that you have to look at this from a multifaceted approach. Whether you're a franchisor, a franchisee, a supplier in the community, you have to recognize that you're dealing with multiple ownership groups that are involved. And so recognizing that there are conflicting interests at times. Sometimes a franchisee wants to run their business a certain way, that is still compliant within the franchisor system, but maybe they just don't want to grow as much as the franchisor thinks they could grow. And so I think coming into the franchise world, you have to have having a certain understanding or accepting that there are limitations to what you can do and what you cannot do for all parties involved. From a franchisor standpoint, you're letting go of some level of control. I guess is maybe a better way to summarize it as I'm speaking out loud here, but you're letting go of some level of control as the franchisor. The franchisee runs day-to-day operations and customer service, and they're hiring their own staff and team. And the franchisee is letting go of some control in terms of what they're able to, what kind of system they're running and operating day to day. And certainly suppliers in the community have restrictions and limitations that set up because of the dynamic of the franchisor-franchisee relationship. So I think understanding that and accepting it is very helpful to maybe keep your sanity, but also to just understanding and accepting it sets you up for continued success in the franchise space. I think franchising has made a fantastic comeback since the pandemic first hit back in 2020, and certainly I think just business in general had shock waves that hit it, but franchising in particular, what's been exciting to watch are the new franchisees coming into business ownership and franchise ownership, or business ownership through franchising, I should say. What I have noticed through our clients and people we work with is that the pandemic shook the insides of people and really said, what am I doing with my life? I think it had created some reflection and people saying, what am I doing with my life? I want to maybe take control of my own destiny, or I've always wanted to open that business or go into business for myself, or maybe fear of, if another pandemic type scenario happens, wanting to have greater control over their career and their financial destiny. And so they look at opening businesses, and which inevitably leads to people considering franchising. And so I have found that franchising right now in today's world, it's the best environment I've seen franchising in. I mean, gosh, in 10 years or so, maybe longer. So I certainly the initial shock was with lockdowns and shutdowns and figuring out what was going on those first 6 months or so, really certainly weighed and was challenging on the small business community and franchise community. But I see it right now being a huge growth time in the franchise world. So the advice I have for other young up-and-comers in the franchise space is to stay the course. I have found in speaking from my own experience and in speaking with others that have been in franchising for a long time, is once you're bit by the franchise bug, it's hard to leave. You fall in love with the franchise world and franchise community. And there are a lot of folks that have been in the community for a long time and intend to for a long time, myself included. And so I would say, if you have not been bit by the franchise bug and you're not feeling it, it may not be the right industry for you or the right community for you to continue growing in. But for the most part, my finding has been in working with other franchise professionals in the franchise world has showed me that people are either all in or they're not. And if you're all in, stay the course. There's so much opportunity here. Think how you can apply your own skills and maybe shaping or helping improve the franchise community for today and tomorrow for the people coming into the franchise community as franchising continues to expand in the coming decades.